Now coming up on 6:30 on WKYT this morning, state police identify the man shot by a trooper last night in eastern Kentucky.
The Centrepointe saga continues this morning with the developer now threatening the city of Lexington with a lawsuit.
And details about progress being made to save an old building in downtown Lexington from demolition.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. Happy Cinco De Mayo here on May 5th. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Did you know that a few years ago in 2012, it was Cinco de Derby?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means that the Cinco de Mayo and the Kentucky Derby fell on the same Saturday.
Well, that's interesting.
That was interesting, you know. It was a very interesting time in life. But hey, we're fast forwarding to now, and Derby was great, and today, hey, it's Cinco de Mayo.
Good day to enjoy it, certainly. We have wonderful weather out there, and it looks like that trend continues. Meteorologist Micah Harris is back with us with almost full voice. Good morning.
Almost is exactly right. You know, 15 years ago to this day, I met my first cheese dip, and I'm still in love to this day. I will eat it every single Cinco de Mayo. It's too good. Let's look outside and see what's going on. First Alert Defender, live radar. There is your look. Good clean sweep. And I'm not seeing much go on. Look, you're going to have a lot of sunshine again today. Things look pretty good. I'm really not seeing any rain in the forecast, not today nor tomorrow. Maybe as we track off into later in the week, but as of right now, we're there in the upper 50s, lower 60s. Pleasant, we'll put it that way. 76 there by noontime. Teachers, don't forget, continue to take those kids outdoors during the morning hours. It's a really good feel outside because in the days to come, it gets much warmer than what you're seeing there on the screen. 82 is warm this afternoon, but we're talking possibly, and I'm saying possibly, it's not likely, but possibly a 90-degree reading. Show you when that's to come, coming up.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. A lot of sunshine this week. And this into WKYT. New details this morning about a state police-involved shooting in eastern Kentucky. It happened last night in Wolfe County, west of Campton.
The state police have now identified the person who was shot as well as what led up to this shooting. WKYT's Victor Puente is at our live desk this morning with some new information on this.
Well, the man shot by police is now in the hospital. This morning, we've learned his name and the charges he's facing. The shooting happened just behind the Desi Scott Children's Home in the Pine Ridge area of Wolfe County. Kentucky State Police say it started around 9:30 Monday night when they were called for a report of an armed man, and say when they got there, 39-year-old Matthew Preston confronted them holding a handgun. Police say they tried to get Preston to drop that gun, but he fired at troopers who fired back. They say they're still piecing together what led to the shooting.
We'll continue this shooting investigation just like we would any investigation, and any type of findings that we go from there, we'll report them to the people that need to be reported to.
Preston is facing 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer. They say his injuries are non-life-threatening. At first, he was taken to Kentucky River Medical Center in Jackson. Then he was airlifted to UK Hospital. Once he's out of the hospital, he'll be taken to jail. At the live desk, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Well, police say a southern Kentucky couple drugged and molested a 12-year-old girl. Barbourville police charged Arthur and Faith Vaughn with sexual abuse. The victim's mother says she sent her daughter to stay with the Vaughns, who are relatives. The mother says the couple forced her 12-year-old to smoke pot and then gave her other drugs.
The doctors had told me they found large amounts of Xanax in my child's system. You drugged my child to be able to touch her. I will never have full peace with it, but I will feel a lot better when I know that they're going to be in jail for a long time.
The couple pleaded not guilty to charges of sexual abuse. Well, we are tracking a crime alert this morning in Lexington. Police are looking for a couple of people who were seen breaking into several cars overnight.
They may not have all the reports in just yet as people are waking up. All of these cars are along Reading Road. WKYT's Mark Barber is there live this morning to explain what police found. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. Police say that the car crooks were last seen here at the Breckenridge Apartments. Investigators say so far the burglars have broken into up to 5 cars here on Reading Road. Now, police say they started looking for these 2 burglars after residents here in this apartment complex called them about 2:30 this morning, saying that they saw 2 men ducking around cars in the parking lot. Police say they are still looking for those 2 car crooks who, again, were seen on foot at this apartment complex. We're told police do not have a detailed description of the young men yet. However, officers think some of the cars that were hit in this rash of burglaries may have already been unlocked. Police officers still checking to see if anything was stolen. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And of course, also we've had some other reports in that part of town, so police are really looking into that this morning. 6:34 is the time on WKYT, and Centrepointe developer Dudley Webb is telling Lexington city leaders to prepare for a lawsuit. Webb's attorney has sent a second letter to the city threatening legal action. This comes after the city demanded that Webb return the downtown block to a grassy lot. The city says there's been little or no work on Centrepointe for months, but Webb's attorney says projects like this and this large take time.
This $180 million, $200 million project, you don't get one bank or one financing entity to finance the whole project. You get it financed different segments.
Getty says Dudley Webb would like to avoid litigation. He says that would only slow the project down. We reached out to the city's attorney, Mason Miller. He said the city did not wish to comment on Webb's latest letter.
Well, Kentucky's 2 U.S. senators have introduced legislation they say will level the playing field for American bourbon and whiskey producers. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Senator Rand Paul introduced a bill that would allow American bourbon and whiskey makers to deduct interest associated with production in the year it's paid. McConnell said more than 15,000 jobs in Kentucky are related to the bourbon industry, which produces billions of dollars for the state's economy.
The 4 Republican candidates running for Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky debated the issues in front of a statewide audience. KET hosted the debate as part of Kentucky Tonight. One of the topics discussed, how to create new jobs in the Commonwealth.
The first thing that we would do is pass right to work in this state. The fact of the matter is 35% of companies tell our economic development coordinators that right to work is an automatic disqualifier for them coming to the Commonwealth.
That is absolutely imperative, is right to work, but followed right behind that has to be, it must be that the $34 billion pension shortfall.
When we're not a right-to-work state, we are losing out on good jobs. And so that would absolutely be a priority. And then also tax reform would be the next thing that we would have to do to make Kentucky a place where people would want to come do business.
And the first thing, we need to get our corporate tax down. We've got a plan to bring that down by 0.25% over a 4-year period to bring that down to be able to attract the jobs. The second thing is we have to get a handle on our addiction problem.
The Kentucky primary election is May 19th, which is 2 weeks from today.
We have some details on a traffic alert through the University of Kentucky campus. Next week, much of Alumni Drive between Tates Creek and Nicholasville roads will be closed to traffic. UK says 2 roundabouts will be installed on Alumni Drive, along with a bicycle lane and walking lane. That stretch of Alumni will be closed on Sunday after graduation and is scheduled to reopen September 1st, just in time for a new semester at UK. So if the weather permits, hopefully they will be on track to get that project done. They've already been doing some construction bill over there, so this just adds to that, but you know, closing off that section of the road, so you have to find a detour.
Yeah, you can still get to the Arboretum, and there's a back way in up Belafonte as well.
Yep, and they say off Tates Creek, that's how it's accessible. Well, a Kentucky sheriff's deputy is on administrative leave after his gun went off during some I-do's.
Witnesses say the Carlisle County deputy's gun fell out of his jacket and discharged when it hit the ground. That bullet ended up hitting his mother. The couple at the altar had just said "I do" when the gun went off.
It was loud, and like I say, I knew there were no balloons here. A gun to be fired in church was something I'd never heard before, and it was so scary and terrifying.
Deputy Corey Golightly says his mom is okay, but will probably have to spend the next week in the hospital. Golightly is on paid administrative leave until the county finishes up its investigation. Wow, that was a tough situation there.
Yeah, wow.
There's an old building in downtown Lexington that has been getting a lot of attention and is now getting support from preservationists.
And this group is typically very passionate. The Herald Leader reports that the Warwick Foundation has agreed to put up $300,000 to help move the former People's Bank on South Broadway. It'll cost $850,000 to move the building. Preservationists want to move it to a lot on High Street. Langley Properties, which owns the building, held off on demolition last week to allow groups more time to raise much-needed funds for that. So good to see that it's getting some new life for an old building.
Yeah, it looks like it if they come up with the rest of that money, so we'll see how it goes. Let's check live drive traffic this morning and see how things are moving out there on the roads.
Yeah, Officer Don is here now with a look on this Tuesday. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. No wrecks right now. Traffic looks good on the interstate and the circle. There's a live look at South Broadway. Inbound this morning, we're in good shape. It looks like inner and outer loops of Man of War. Also, from Hamburg over to Versailles Road should be one click of the light through most of the intersections. As far as the Waze map goes, a few cars on the way in. Live drivers out there this morning reporting a smooth ride. So that's what we're looking for inbound Harrodsburg Road, Nicholasville Road, and even Versailles Road from Woodford County. Now back to you in the studio.
Right, and one of those enjoyable mornings where you can roll your window down, get some fresh air on the way in.
It's the best. Definitely going to do that. If I had a sunroof, I'd do that, but new car doesn't have that.
Oh,
bummer.
Oh well.
It's a good day for the sunroof. Well, it is a serious case of goaltending. Ahead on WKYT this morning, a look at a guy who took the expression jump through hoops, let's just say maybe a little too literally.
Yeah, that story ahead.
And it doesn't look like they're too happy with them either. We're at 60 degrees right now in Lexington. We're in the mid-60s in some locations. It's a good feel outside, and it gets even warmer as we track through the next few days. I'll show you how warm coming up.